Cam Newton, plus 6,000 MVP.
Whoa.
Great value.
Hey, they're allegedly going to get Julio.
Especially if they get Julio.
All right, let's get into it. Allegedly, the Patriots are getting Julio. Like, we're having people tell us that that's a done deal. Julio is going to New England. Now, the people that are telling us have zero credibility. Zero credibility at all. Nothing at all. And this whole deal is going to happen next week, and we are pumped for it because it'll give us something to talk about. Aaron's June 1 thing is also next week, so I think more will get settled then. But allegedly, the Patriots, who have now become the betting favorites on some sports books, are definitely going to get Julio. With this whole offense, imagine if they would have just done this when Tom was around. Imagine if they would have done this when Tom was around. That would have been crazy. But now they still have a question mark at quarterback. Cam could be incredible this year. He could be. Mac Jones could be incredible. He could not be. We'll see how this whole thing goes. But boy, that team looks lethal, especially if they get Julio. Are you kidding? And if they get Julio for a second or third rounder, everybody in the NFL fans are going to go, of course, Bill Belichick got this motherfucker for a third rounder just like he did with Randy Moss. This is unbelievable. What's going on as a Patriots fan? You just have to be incredibly pumped, Colin.
Absolutely. I mean, especially as one of the teams who can afford him. I think that definitely helps. You can give up probably a N'Keal Harry, a young receiver that's got a lot of potential still. You can give them,
Oh, N'Keal Harry has a lot of potential, huh?
Yeah. Oh, so much. You got no idea. Him with Matt Ryan would be unbelievable. I don't think he got a real shot last year because of COVID Cam. I don't think that was fair. But, yeah, you bring Julio in, whether it's Mac Jones or Cam Newton, doesn't really matter. That offense will be much different.
Diana Rossini's reporting that Julio wanted out of the Falcons. I'm out of there. When he heard the Falcons were fielding calls for him, the Rams odds have jumped to plus 500 to get to Julio. Matt Carrolley has tweeted, this is interesting. Julio Jones to the Rams was a distant long shot a day or two ago. They're now the second favorite at plus 500. That is from Aaron Oster, the A. Oster. Matt Carrolley said something. I didn't get to see it because I was looking down at the time. But the fact that the Rams are involved now, after we talked to Schrags about it yesterday, right? We said, are the Rams involved? He said, if the Rams like somebody, they'll go make it happen. They'll make it happen. They'll make it happen. Then I think the questions with LaFleur and McVay and Schrags and
Bob Saleh
came out. Now all of a sudden there's odds there. Somebody's going to get Julio, and somebody's going to get real quick. Darius Butler, corner, safety, nickel in the NFL for a long time. Man who watches a lot of film. 32 years old, Julio Jones. I'm giving up a first rounder tomorrow for him because I know he's going to be Julio Jones next year. I don't have a chance of, a failing draft pick, which happens on a regular basis. Darius, why is Julio Julio? Is Julio still Julio? And why are teams not sending everything to Atlanta to get him right now?
I don't know. I'm right there with you, especially if I'm a team that's a dynamic weapon away, for competing like the Colts. I think, you get them there. Like, they got a good 2-year window to really make a run and win this thing. But, Julio, he's big. He's fast. He's quick. He's dominant at the catch point. He's literally everything you want in a wide receiver. Obviously, he's aging. Missed a bunch of games last year. So, it can scare some teams away. But I think you get him in that locker room, man. He definitely changed the defense. He changed where that post safety is going to be.
Over his entire career, though, I don't think he's missed a bunch of games. Last year, I guess he did. And then he came back at the end and played well, by the way. And you would have to think that potential spite year here for Julio, right? Like if they said Matt Ryan's contract is cool, we can do that. It's 100-some million, but we can't do $17.3 million over the next 2 years for Julio Jones. You got to think there's at least a little bit, and the whole Diana Rossini's report, which we're not sure, is when he heard the Falcons were fielding calls, he was like, all right, I'm done with this place or whatever. And this happened a couple years ago when there was a contract negotiation. He took the Atlanta Falcons completely out of his Instagram. But I feel like a spite year from Julio is going to be awesome. And if we take the alleged illegal phone call with Shannon on TV into play, he said, I just want to win. So I think he's like at the point where he's like, listen, I got all the records. I'm number 1 in yards per game in the history of the NFL. I'm number 2 in the amount of yards in the first 10 years, about right behind Jerry Rice or whatever. It's just, I feel like he is at the point where he just wants to win. And if you're a team that's going to get that, what a day. Imagine the Browns getting Julio Jones.
It'd be dangerous too. Whenever you see a lot of players come out, recruiting another player, that lets you kind of know where who that guy is, how he's respected around the league. The writers, the guys, they don't matter as much as the guys out there got to play with them or against them. So a lot of people recruiting him. I saw AJ Brown recruiting him.
Oh yeah.
Guys from the Ravens, the Cardinals, big-time receivers recruiting him. So it'll be interesting to see where he lands, man.
Go back to what you said about the safety in the corner. So let's say you're let's go with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
They have A.J. Green, Nuke, potentially Larry, who knows? And if they had Julio there, what does that mean? Three people get singled? Is that what that means? Like 4 people get singled? Is that everybody gets a single coverage? Is that what that means?
They got Christian Kirk, too, who came along last year. And you got a quarterback and throw it down the field. So it's like you have to, as a deep field safety, you have to pick, okay, do I lean and help the guy that's guarding Julio, or do I lean the other guy the other way and help the guy that's guarding D-Hop? So it's tough, especially with Pat P out of there. Obviously, he's close to the end of his career than he is to the beginning. But it's going to be tough, man. More split safety defenses, so 2 safeties back.
Is that easier for Kyler to read or what?
It's not that it's easier for him to read, but you basically have to give more resources to stop the pass game. So which is going to obviously deplete from the resources when it comes to stopping the run game. So you got a quarterback that can run, you got backs that can move it. So it's just you got to find that balance. So they did. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be a tough offense to stop. Damn near impossible if they get Julio over there.
I agree. And by the way, you have to have a damn near impossible offense to stop to win a Super Bowl in 2021, 2020, 2022. That's how it's going to have to be. I mean, if you just look at who's successful, that's what you're going to have to. You're going to have weapons. You're going to have things that attack defenses, both not talking about just physically, but scheme.
Yeah.
Like schematically, we're going to attack your defense. We're going to do this. You're going to have to do this. We're going to have this. Like it's just, that's the levels to this shit that I think the high school football players, college football players, I don't fully understand, but I know it's happening at least. People don't, when you add depth at the weapon position, and I think we all players probably wished for this for a long time. Like, oh, let's just get all the good players on one team. But when you do that, if an injury happens, you're not fucked completely.
Yep.
If a defense that is very good stuff comes into town, it's like, okay, at least one part of their defense, though, is going to have to be on an island, and that person's going to have to make a play. Even if the entire thing, it's just the more weapons you have, the better.
At the end of the day, you want to get guys who change the math. In any phase of the game. That could be special teams. So, like, Matt Slater, for instance, he changed the math for a special team. Like, we got to commit 2 guys to stop that guy. DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones. You have to T.Y. Hilton for a long time. Like, we got to have another guy to J.J. Watt when he was in his prime. We got to have 2 guys, Aaron Donald. So those guys change the math. When you put 2 guys on one, now other people have better matchups. So the more guys that you get on your roster that change, the Chiefs.
Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill.
You can't leave Kelce one-on-one with linebackers or safety. You can't leave Ty Hill one-on-one with corners. So you gotta pick your poison there.
Gronk, Evans, Godwin, Antonio Brown.
All these guys,
all these guys.
And obviously, quarterbacks do, but that's a given. But and then you got a guy like Kittle who he's just as dominant in the run game as he is in the pass game. So once again, that changes the math for a D coordinator. How do we stop him?
It'd be dope if the Niners get involved in that. Go ahead, Connor.
I was going to say, it's another team in that division. Like, that's probably, it makes more sense why the Rams are throwing their hat in the ring, because they look around, see the Cardinals, see the Niners, even the Seahawks. Like, shit, if one of these teams gets them and we don't, there's no way we have a shot against an offense with Julio on one of these teams.
Stooge Fox back there was clapping as soon as he heard the Rams were getting involved. And not because he thinks the Lions are going to win, right? No, it's because he's getting a chance to see Matthew Stafford, right? Ain't that right over there, Fox?
Yeah, I think Matthew Stafford and the Rams are the closest I'll ever get to winning a Super Bowl, so I'm all in on them this year. All in.
That's fair.
Go to L.A., Julio.
If they get Julio, Stafford's got no excuses now. You better win a goddamn Super Bowl, or you play with Calvin and then Julio Jones. They didn't win a playoff game.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
With that.
Wait, no playoff wins for Stafford?
No.
No.
He got there 3 times, lost all 3.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's tough.
I know. Believe me, because I've gone to bed a lot. I've been like, you guys just haven't seen Matthew Stafford play. Wait till he gets to the Rams, an organization that wants to win. Coach is going to do it, set him up for success. Everybody fires back. He has no playoff wins. What do you even? I'm like, well, you just haven't seen him play. Yeah, you haven't seen him play. You haven't seen him play.
He had a top 10 defense once in his career and he won 11 games. So that's.
And then what happened?
Lost in the playoffs.
No playoffs. Lost in the playoffs.
Can't have it. See,
Can't have it.
He learned from that, though. He was hoping one day we'll get back to that point. They still haven't had it. That Rams defense. Hey.
They lost some pieces, though.
Who?
They lost John Johnson.
And?
They lost Hill, slot defender. They lost
Staley.
They lost the D coordinator,
D coordinator.
to the Chargers, so it's going to be some moving parts over there